Hello everyone and welcome to Back to Basics Live. I am your coach and workout partner Nitish Balan and I have with me today Simranjeet, who's going to help you go through the beginner movements of today's workout. Alright, it's day 5, so we're going to be focusing on an upper body workout today. We'll be doing a strength piece followed by a small accessory which is going to be a nice arm pump finisher. First things first, before we actually get started with the workout or even the warm-up, make sure you have a pair of dumbbells, a yoga mat, a hand towel and a water bottle ready so that you can cruise through the workout. Without further ado, make sure you have your lifestyle score handy because we are going to be using that in the workout. And now let's get started with the warm-up. First movement is going to be what we call the banded sevens. We've done this a bunch of times. I'm going to be using the heavier band. Simran is going to be using the lighter one. We'll start off with 7 movements for 7 reps. The first one is going to be the banded 7, which is basically banded pull apart. So hold the band such that the knuckles are pointing forwards, arms are parallel to each other, elbows locked. Let's pull apart for 7 reps. And that's 7. We move the same thing diagonally and go for 7 reps in the diagonal position as well. And 7. Again, switch to the opposite side. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Alright, the next movement is what we call no manis. So for this, you're going to hold the band on your palms such that your elbows are going to be tucked into your ribs and there's going to be a 90-degree angle at your elbows. Now from here, all you have to do is, without letting the elbows flare out, Simran is showing how does the elbows flaring out looks like. You're going to keep them tucked in and try and pull the band apart as much as you can. That's it. And we'll repeat this for 7 reps. Let's go. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. The next movement is what we call the behind the neck pull aparts. Simran is going to turn around and show it to you from the backside. Backside, yeah. So notice how his palms are just outside his shoulders. So you're going to hold it with your palms just outside the shoulder. All you have to do is pull the band apart and get back into the starting position. We'll do this for 7 reps. Let's go. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Alright. The next one, Simran is going to do it sideways so that you have a look at it from the side. Can you turn this side, Simran? Perfect. Now, so from here, you're basically going to pull the band apart so that there is tension in the band. From here, keeping your elbows straight and locked, you're going to take the band all the way back, touch your hips at the back, and then get it back all the way to the front, again touching your hips to the front. We'll do this for 7 reps. Front and back is 1 rep. Let's go. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, now the last set or the last movement of the banded sevens is basically supine grip pull aparts. Now, what is a supine grip pull apart? You're going to keep your arms up, elbows locked out, elbow pits are pointing up, palms are pointing up. You're holding the band such that your arms are parallel to each other and they are parallel to the ground as well. Now in this position, all you have to do is pull the band apart. The last position you want to come is basically when the band touches your chest, but if you can't come till there, pull apart till a point where you can. We'll repeat this for 7 reps. I am done with 3. I'm going to finish off the remaining 4. Go ahead and finish a total of 7 reps to complete this activation. 6 and 7. Alright. So I specifically, or in fact, I should rather say we at Back to Basics specifically love the banded sevens primarily because it's a great movement to activate your deltoids. It actually prepares your scapula to kind of get ready for all the work that we are going to be putting later in the workout. Okay, now we'll actually get started with our warm-up. We've got 2 movements. The first one is what we call the snow angels, for which I am going to lie down. Simran is actually going to show a different variation. Simran, can you stand up? We'll show the around the world. So Simran doesn't have enough space so that he can lie down on the floor and do a snow angel. So for this, he's basically going to do an around the world. For this, you can either keep your fists closed or you can keep them open as well. What you want to make sure is The upper arm, which is basically in front of your, so behind your neck, the palm is facing the neck. The lower arm, which is in front of your lower back, the palm is facing backwards. From here, extend your arm completely and switch. Come back to the starting point. Again, go back completely, and that is your starting position. So when you finish both the arms, that is basically 1 rep. You will do 10 such reps. Take a break, Simran. Now, when you're going to do snow angels, you're basically going to lie down on the floor, forehead down on the floor, palms on your lower back, pull your elbows back, extend your arms completely, touch the palms to each other, come back to the starting position. This is basically a snow angel. You want to make sure that at no point of the snow angel do you want to keep your elbows locked. All right? Okay, let's get started. We're going to do 10 reps of the snow angels. Simran is going to do the around the world for 10 reps. All right, let's get going. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. That will be our first movement of the warm-up. The second movement, we are going to do what is called the scapular push-up. Now, for the scapular push-up, you start from a high plank, right? All those who find it hard to keep the high plank, you can drop your knees down. Watch Simran. Simran, put your palms slightly forward so that your shoulders, hips, and knees are in one line. Drop your hips down now. Notice how his shoulders, hips, and knees are in one line. Palms are under his shoulders. When you're doing it in a high plank, it's going to look like this. Again, in one straight line. From here, all you have to do is squeeze your shoulder blades down, press yourself back up, and we'll do 10 such reps. Let's go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Alright, this was one set. We're going to repeat this for one more set. So 10 snow angels followed by 10 scapular push-ups. Let's go. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. The next movement is going to be what we call the scapular push-ups. 10 more reps, and that should be the end of our warm-up. Let's go. 4, 8, 9, and 10. All right. Okay, so that was our warm-up. I'm going to quickly grab a sip of water, and then we'll get started with the mobility. Make sure you keep yourself hydrated. Extremely important. Whenever we work out, we sweat, and a lot of people relate sweat to the fact that you're actually losing fat. Absolutely bullshit. You're only losing water when you sweat. It's your body's way to regulate its temperature. Nothing more than that. So if you're actually sweating more, the only one indicator is that you have to consume more water. You can be 100% certain of that only thing, that you need to consume more water. Okay, on that note, let's get started with the mobility. The first movement is what we call the puppy dog to cobra. So, intermediates, you're going to do puppy dog to cobra. Puppy dog is nothing but your knees are going to be under your hips, palms are going to be extremely stretched forward. This is basically your puppy dog. From here, I'm just going to keep my knees and toes in the same place, just drop my hips forward and get into a cobra. Now, all those who struggle getting into the puppy dog, watch Simran. He's going to do the same thing, but starting from the child's pose. So, his hips are resting on his ankles. From here, he's not going to move his palms, neither his knees nor his toes. He's just going to come forward and get into a cobra and go back to your child's pose. As simple as that. Right? So we're going to try and stick to this for 60 seconds. Get ready? 3, 2, 1, let's go. 60 seconds. Once you go to cobra, try and stay there for about 2 to 3 seconds. I'm sorry, that I meant 2 to 3 seconds. And back. Excellent. Back to puppy dog. Go back to cobra. Back to puppy dog. Go back to cobra. Back to puppy dog. You're almost halfway there. This stretch specifically opens up your lats and your upper back. I just heard a click in my upper back. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and that's 60 seconds. Okay, for the next stretch, we're going to be doing a nice arm pump session in the end. So we're going to do something called a kneeling wrist rock. Okay. Now, I think Simran, you turn this side only because I'm going to show a different variation. So intermediate, I am assuming you will have enough flexibility in your wrists that you can place the palms on the floor with the fingers pointing towards yourself. Towards your knees, and all you have to do is rock yourself back and forth. Right? We'll do this 30 seconds this way and we'll do 30 seconds in the opposite direction. Now, beginners, you might find it difficult and you might have some pain in your wrist. So for that, we'll do a kneeling wrist stretch. Right? So the palm position is absolutely the same. You will keep the palms on the floor such that the fingers are pointing towards the knees, and you will not rock back and forth. You will just lean backwards and hold that stretch so that your wrist and your forearms are having a nice full stretch. Alright, let's do this for 30 seconds. Starting in 3, 2, 1, let's go. Intermediates, rock back and forth. Beginners, just lean backwards, just like Simran is doing it. Very good. Halfway there. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch your palms in terms of direction. Again, this time beginners, you will lean forward, intermediates, rock back and forth as you just did in the previous 30 seconds as well. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Alright, that brings us to the end of our mobility as well. We'll take a quick short break and then we'll get started with the movements for today. We're basically going to do a close grip push-up followed by some chainsaw rows. For the intermediates, we'll be doing chainsaw rows. For beginners, we'll give you a different variation of the chainsaw row, which should help you with getting the movement done in a much more easier fashion. Until then, have some water. If you're already starting to sweat, wipe that sweat off, and then we'll be back on the mat in about 30 seconds. So whenever you warm up, there's a concept called ramp, which means raise body temperature, activate your muscle fibers, mobilize them, and then potentiate the muscles so that you can actually go through the workout. So this is exactly what we follow. In the warm-up, we basically try and get our heart rate up by doing activation using the banded sevens. You're getting the muscles to get warmed up. From there, you activate them by doing the scapular push-ups. and our snow angels. We got the lower traps to get activated. Then we mobilize them using the puppy dog to Cobra and our kneeling wrist rocks. And now when we start with the movement, we'll actually try out a few reps before we actually start with the workout, which is basically the potentiate phase. If you go up and look up ramp anywhere, in any strength and conditioning literature, you will find what does a ramp mean and how effective is it to warm up your body really well. Okay, let's get started. So we've got the first movement, which is basically the close grip push-up. Simran, can you show the knee down version first? So what you're basically going to do is you're going to keep your palm such that your thumb finger and your index finger are touching each other, right? You form a triangle like that. So he's basically holding it exactly like that. From there, first get into a high plank. First get into a high plank, will you for me? Yes. Now in the high plank, this is how you actually start a close grip push-up. Can you show me a close grip push-up first? You go down and come back up. That's a close grip push-up. Now if you find it challenging, beginners, drop your knees down and notice how your shoulders, hips, knees are in one line. Slightly lean forwards and drop your hips down. Yes. This is basically going to be your knee down position. Can you show us 3 reps in this position? That's going to be your close grip push-up in the knee down position. Few things you want to make sure. Elbow should not flare out way too much. They should be close enough, right? And when you go down, you should start by bending your elbows first, as opposed to, come back up, as opposed to starting from your trap. This is something you don't want to do. Okay? Simran, you can relax. Go ahead and try 3 reps. If you are intermediates, go and see if you can do close grip push-ups. Even if you feel you are an intermediate and you can't do close grip push-ups, no shame, drop your knees down, go ahead and finish the respective number of reps. You might see even me going down and doing some knee down push-ups as and when we have fatigue in, say, the 4th or 5th set. I'm just going to go ahead and try 3 reps. Diamond position with my palms. Go down, touch the chest to the floor, press back up. Go down, touch the chest to the floor, press back up. And 1. Alright. Okay. Now, this will be our first movement. For the second movement, we'll do something called a chainsaw row. Now, I'm going to grab a 10 kg dumbbell just to demonstrate. Simran is going to do the same with the 5. In the workout, we'll probably go a little heavier. Okay. Now, first things first, I want you to get your feet wider than your shoulders. Right. Now, from here, you will point one toe outside at 90 degrees. Okay. Losing balance. Okay. Whichever toe you basically have pointed at 90 degrees, bend that knee so that your knee is exactly above your heel. Okay. Now, intermediates, I want you to drop your elbow on the bent knee. Beginners, you will have your palms on the bent knee such that the fingers are pointing inside. Right? Now, from here, grab the dumbbell in the opposite arm. Hold it just under the wrist, which is free. From here, pull the dumbbell to your hip and not your chest. Try 5 reps on this side. 4 and 5. Alright. Now stay there. Notice how his back is absolutely straight. Can you drop your elbows on the knee for me? Even in this position, his back is straight. He's not rounding his back as well. So you want to keep your back straight. Pull. Now, if you've done that on one side, again get into a wide grip stance. Switch your knees to the opposite side. Grab a dumbbell and go ahead and try 5 reps on the opposite side. And 5. Right? As simple as that. This is what we call a chainsaw rope. Okay? Why do we do chainsaw rope? Basically is it helps you isolate just one side of your lat as opposed to somewhat engaging the other one when you do any form of single arm rope otherwise. Now, how many reps are we going to do? Before that, we'll be doing 5 sets. We'll start a new set every 3 minutes 30 seconds. In those 5 sets, we'll basically be doing either 6, 9 or 12 reps of the close grip push-ups, as well as 6, 9 or 12 reps of the chainsaw row each side. In the chainsaw row, it's going to be each side. Close grip push-ups is a bilateral movement. Now, if your score is less than 60, you can go ahead and do 6 reps of all these movements. My score for yesterday was basically somewhere close to 63. So I'm going to stick to 9 reps of all these movements. I would rather slightly go heavier. It is I'll be using a 15. And all those who are 80, I think Simran is closer to 80, right? So he's close to 78. So you want to try 12 reps? Because he's doing knee down push-ups, he's going to be doing 12 reps and he's relatively using a lighter dumbbell. So he'll be doing 12 reps. just to help you understand how we scale the workouts or the reps based on the lifestyle score. So Simran's workout is going to be 5 sets every 3 minutes, 12 close grip knee push-ups and 12 chainsaw rows. In my case, it's going to be 9 and 9. All right. Let me quickly grab a sip of water and then we'll start in the next 40 seconds. We'll also see if 3 minutes 30 seconds is way too much a time for us. We'll also cut down the time and try and do it in just 3 minutes. Okay, 20 more seconds. All right, 10 seconds. Let's get into our positions. Fingers into a diamond position. High plank starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. And that's 9 reps for me. I'm going to grab a dumbbell, keep it right in front of me. Like we discussed, get your feet wider than your shoulders, point one toe outside, just keeping the dumbbell on the mat so that it doesn't slip away. Elbows on the palm, on the knee, and go ahead for 9 reps. That was 9. Switching to the other side and repeat the same on the opposite side as well. And that's 9 reps. All right. So we took about a minute and 15 seconds to finish this. So like I said, we're going to stick to 3 minutes. Every set, 3.5 will be way too much of a rest. So we'll try and make the best of this. 5 sets every 3 minutes, of which 1 set is already done. We have about 90 seconds. Walk up and down your mat. Mind you, any upper body movement, especially when you're doing something that is attacking your triceps a lot, you will feel like you're getting the job done very quickly, but the muscles take that much more time to recover. So even if you don't feel your heart rate going up, but you can feel that burn in the muscles, be happy about it, because by the time you reach your 5th set, you're not going to be able to finish the reps that we are already doing. Trust me, Simran is going to start considering his choices of doing 12 reps on the knee down close grip push-ups by the 5th set. I myself would have. I am even worried about my 9 reps on by the end of my 5th set. Okay, 40 seconds before we start with our 2nd set. On this set, I want you to focus on starting the push-up from the elbow, and on the chainsaw rows, we'll focus on pulling the dumbbell to our hips and not our chest. Okay, 20 more seconds. It always feels good to end the week with an arm pump session. It's like revalidation that you've done something good for your body. All right, 3, 2, 1, let's go. And 9 reps. Okay, time for the chainsaw rows. I am more scared of a movement when I'm able to get it done very quickly. Alright, chainsaw rows, let's go. Pull it to your hip. Back straight. And that's 9 reps. Again, going. And that's 9 reps on the other side as well. Chainsaw row is one movement that looks so easy on paper. It feels like, oh, very simple. Move the dumbbell up and down. And the moment you get into that position, you realize how much of your core is getting activated in that movement. And that's primarily why it's that much more harder to breathe after you're done with the chainsaw rows. "75 seconds. Now on the third set, we'll focus on pressing the palms hard to the floor whenever we do the close grip push-ups. And on the chainsaw rows, I want you to focus on squeezing your armpits and then rowing. And let me know, how do you feel your lats after that? "40 seconds. "30 seconds. Keep walking up and down your mat. Don't try and sit down at one position. The more you walk in between your sets, the blood is continuously flowing throughout your body. It actually helps you recover faster in between sets, which is very, very essential whenever you do any form of interval training. All right, let's get ready. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. And that's 9 reps. And then we get started. Get the dumbbell in between, feet wider than your shoulders, point one toe outside. I'm starting off with the left side because we have something called a unilateral bias. I'll talk about it after this set. Starting off with the left side first. Squeeze your armpits. And that's 9 reps. Switch to the opposite side. Let's go for 9 more reps here. Squeeze your armpit and row. All right, that would be 9 reps. Okay, like I was saying, there's something called a unilateral bias, which means anytime you do a unilateral movement, right? So chainsaw row is where you're only using one arm at a time. A lunge is something where you use only one leg at a time. So whenever you do a unilateral movement, your body, knowingly or unknowingly, has a bias towards one side. Maybe your right arm will be stronger than the left one, or vice versa. So whenever you train, if you continuously start with the same arm, you're actually making the unilateral bias more and more evident. So what I like to do is, if I do one set starting with my left arm, I'll start the next set with my right arm. That way, every side of my body is under fatigue equal number of times. So you do all 5 sets starting with your left arm. Your right arm is always starting second. Your body is already tired by the time you're starting with your right arm. But if you start with your right arm alternate set, left arm alternate set, you're giving it equal opportunity to either train fresh or under fatigue. Again, you can check this up. Unilateral bias really helps a lot. On the close grip push-up, you don't need to, because it's a bilateral movement. There it doesn't make that much of a difference. But yes, whenever you're doing a unilateral movement, try and use this method. You'll see all the imbalances go away. 15 seconds. Now on this set, I want you to focus on the breathing as well. Every time you go down, breathe in. Every time you come up, breathe out. Starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Breathe in. And that's 9 reps. Same thing on the rows as well. Every time you take the dumbbell down, breathe in. Every time you take the dumbbell up, breathe out. Alright, feet wider than our shoulders, toes pointed slightly outside, elbows on your knees, and roll. Squeeze your armpits. And that's 9 reps. Moving on to the other side now. Like I said, last time I started with the right arm. This time I started with the left arm. And going back once again. And that's 9 reps on the fourth set as well. As and when we proceed with the sets, like on the fourth set, we took almost 100 seconds to finish the set. Earlier, we're taking slightly lesser. Now we can see how the fatigue is setting in. I am starting to feel my triceps. Lats are slowly pumping in as well. But I think we are able to give you an opportunity to appreciate the fact that how effective sticking to basics can be. We are not doing any fancy movements. It's just basic fundamental movements. You look up any one of these movements wherever you want. You want to check it on YouTube, you want to check it on Google, go ahead, find it out. You'll find one or the other videos. It is not something which we've kind of made it up. Just the ability to stick to the basics. It's very hard because otherwise everybody could have done it, right? And that is exactly what we here at Back to Basics focus on. How often can you stick to the basics? Because it can produce some devastating fitness results. Okay, 20 seconds. On the last set, we're going to focus on everything that we practiced till now, but we are also going to focus on keeping our core tight. Breathe in when you go down, breathe out when you come up, start from your elbows, squeeze your armpits. Alright, I'll try and reiterate everything on each rep, starting in 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Start from your elbows. Breathe in when you go down, breathe out when you come up. Go tight, lock your elbows close to your body. And that's 9 reps. My goodness. Okay. One last time on the chainsaw rows. Squeeze your armpit, back straight. Roll to your hips. Inhale while you go down. Exhale while you come up. Squeeze your armpits. Keep your core tight. And that's 9 reps on one side. And now time for the other side. Cool. Okay, that was fun. We didn't even realize how our heart rate went up, how it made the movements look simple yet challenging at the same time. We still have 90 seconds from the interval. We're going to walk up and down the mat, have some water, hydrate, recover, catch our breath, and then we'll talk about the challenges and move on to the second part, which is basically our arm pump session. 40 more seconds. Just letting the blood flow into different muscles so that we can recover from the set really well, because we've actually pumped our bicep and tricep in this workout, and we are just going to hammer them once again in the next part, and it's going to be even more harder because right now it was more of a compound movement. Next one, you're just going to isolate your biceps and triceps. Okay, 15 more seconds. I think I'll use the, you use the 15s, I'll use the 10s for the hammer. Okay, before we get started with the second part, here's a quick reminder regarding the challenge. So by now you must have realized that we generally follow 3 challenges every week. One is always going to be an activity challenge, which is a prescribed number of steps. The second one is going to be a nutrition challenge, which is basically to help you build some healthy eating habits. And the third one is either your sleep challenge, your hydration challenge, or your energy level challenge. So just head over to the challenges tab on the app and look at what the challenges are for this week. Try and follow them. I know it might be a little overwhelming at some point of time when you can't do all the challenges, but that's totally fine. There are days when we also don't get everything done. There are in fact days when we don't get anything done, and that's totally fine. I like to call it in my words as life happens. So it's something that you have to cope up with. If you can work out 250 days out of 365 in a year, you're going to be a very, very healthy self, as opposed to when you just think about working out and don't show up. Okay, so make sure you get your challenges done. And now for the accessory, which is going to be an arm pump. I'm super excited because who doesn't like to pump their arms, right? The first movement is basically what we call a hammer curl. I'm going to show the exact movement, which is the hammer curl. Simran is going to show you a beginner version. So in the beginner version, the hammer curl is basically to target the outer head of your bicep. So hold the dumbbells at the side, and beginners hold the dumbbell just like Simran from the outside of the head. That is what we call a crush grip row, like that. Yeah, you can face in the front now. So all you have to do is curl the dumbbell up and get it back down. Curl the dumbbell up, get it back down. Now both of us, let's turn to the side so that notice how our elbows don't move front and back. It's just the dumbbell and the wrist that is moving. Go up and come back. Go up and come back. One more. Go up and come back. Okay, so that's basically our hammer curl. Crush grip curl also does the same job. If you notice, when you hold the dumbbells from the side, you're just opening the palms. I am closing the fist by holding the dumbbell. You're opening the palm. That's it. When you go up, it's basically targeting your outer head of the bicep. Your inner head is something that's inside. The outer head is basically what gets targeted in the hammer curl. I hope you guys have tried 5 reps of the hammer curl, a very easy movement. The second movement is what we call a dumbbell kickback. We'll first show you the beginner version using a TheraBand. So you're going to actually wrap your TheraBand across your neck just like that. Alright, now Simran, can you turn to the left? Hold the edge of the TheraBand with your palms, making a fist. And now he's going to basically push his hips back and get into a position where his upper back is close to parallel to the floor. Right? Now here he's going to raise his elbows up so that if you notice, his upper arm, elbow to his shoulder is parallel to the floor, slightly higher and closer to your body. Now from here, he doesn't move his elbow, he's just pushing his wrists as far back as possible, and he's feeling a lot in his triceps. The resistance band is actually giving him the stimulus to activate his triceps, right? And take a break. The same thing when an intermediate can do it with dumbbells. Mind you, I can do it with a 7.5, but I'm still using a 5 right now because my triceps are already fired up. Again, stand with your feet as wide as your hips. Push your hips back, get your body parallel to the floor, elbows high enough so that again upper arm is parallel to the floor. Just extend your wrist back and back to the starting position, back and down, back and down, back and down. What does this movement do? It actually helps you push your tricep up on the arm. It gives you a very good horseshoe kind of a shape to your triceps. Every time we kind of do a bench dip or a close grip push-up, you're actually increasing the size of the bicep, of the tricep, but the kickback is actually helping you give shape to the tricep. Alright, so these are the 2 movements. I am a little greedy when it comes to an arm pump session. I like to do 4 sets. So we're going to be doing 4 sets. Every set will start at the 2-minute 30-second mark. We'll do 15 hammer curls followed by 12 dumbbell kickbacks. Simran is going to be doing it with the TheraBand. That's a great variation for someone who does not have light enough dumbbells or can't control. That's going to give you the perfect stimulus. So I suggest beginners use a TheraBand. Intermediates can go ahead and use a dumbbell. Again, beginners will do a crush grip curl. Intermediates will do a hammer curl. All right. We'll start in the next 10 seconds. I'm quickly grabbing a sip of water. Grab your dumbbell and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. On this set, just focus on keeping the elbows straight, curling the dumbbell up and down. I will tell you small tips to improve your hammer curl as and when we progress with the sets. 7, 8, 9, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. That's basically our hammer curl. And now it's time for the tricep kickbacks. Grab the dumbbells. We go for 12 reps. Notice how the elbows don't move. They are exactly at the same point. And that's 12 reps. Absolutely love this feeling. So it's 1 minute 15 seconds, exactly halfway through. We'll walk up and down the mat. 4 sets are going to be just like an icing on the cake. By the end of the 4th set, we all are going to start walking as if we've got massive arms. Alright, 30 more seconds before we start with our second set. Oh, I can already feel the pump. I'm finding it hard to open the bottle. "20 seconds. Alright, let's grab our dumbbells. Just 10 seconds left. I'm going to show you from the side view so that you have a look at my elbows now, and let's go. And that's 10. And that's 15 reps. All right. Initially, I was thinking I'll probably go and use the 15s for one set. Nope. Okay, time for the tricep kickbacks. So if you notice, Simran took a short break. We call it the rest pause method. If your muscles are too tired, you can actually drop the weight down, rest for about 5 to 10 seconds, shake your arms, let some fresh blood pump into the muscles, and then pick it up once again to finish the remaining reps. You don't have to go ahead and finish all the reps in one go. Right? Like he's resting right now before he starts with the kickbacks, and just like while I was blabbering all this info. Alright, let's go. 12 kickbacks. And that's 12 reps. We've got about 60 seconds before we start with our third set. Okay, now here's one tip that's going to help you. Focus on your breathing. In fact, if you can, exaggerate your breathing when you're doing the curls and the extensions. Every time you lift the dumbbell up, exhale. Every time you lower, inhale. It's going to help you keep your core tight. So, simpler tip, if you can slightly look at it, squeeze your core, curl, lower and inhale. Same thing on the kickbacks. See how much of a difference does it make. Two things, inhale while you lower, exhale while you raise it up and squeeze your core. Try it on the next two sets and see the difference. Alright, 10 seconds. Looks like time's flying very fast. This time Simran is going to show you from the side angle. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Again, notice his elbows, how it doesn't move at all. The moment you squeeze your core, the movement becomes much more easier. Simran is reducing the reps to 10 because he couldn't, I think he's almost stopped at 5 reps because it's slightly feeling heavier. And the fatigue also sets in when you kind of do the crush grip row because your forearms are more using more because you're basically also balancing the dumbbell in your arms. And that's 15. Okay. This is the beauty whenever you change an arm pump session from 3 sets to 4 sets. You get 30 seconds of less rest, you get an additional set, and that's a massive pump on your arms. Okay, let's go. And that's 12 reps. "60 seconds before we finish with our last set for the day and for this week as well. There's a reason why we do arm pump accessory work on our day 5, which is the last workout of the week. It really helps us with the arm pump session and gives us a very good feel. Okay, 30 more seconds. All right, 10 seconds. Let's grab our dumbbells one last time. And I'm going to do it sideways this time. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Keep your core tight. Exhale while you curl. Inhale while you lower. That's 8 reps for me. Last 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. A nice good pump in my biceps. And it's time for the kickbacks now. All right. Elbows back. And that's final 12 reps for today's arm pump session. Okay, that brings us to the end of today's workout. We're going to sit down. Before we get started with our breathing or the breath work, I'm just going to wipe my spit off and then sit down. You can either sit cross-legged or you can sit in Vajrasana as well, where your knees are going to be on the floor, hips down on your ankles. All right. In this position, we're going to start with something called Sama Vritti, but before that, we'll actually do some deep breathing for 1 long minute just to get our heart rate down, and then we'll start with our actual breathing work. Okay? Close your eyes and breathe nasally. If you need, you can place your palm on your belly. Every time you inhale, your belly should expand. Every time you exhale, your belly should go back in. In 30 seconds, we'll start with the Sama Vritti pranayam, which is basically inhale and exhale for the same amount of time. For today's breath work, we'll inhale for 4 seconds and exhale for 4 seconds. Don't worry, I'll be giving you the cue. Just try and listen to my cue and follow along. Starting in 8 seconds. And 3, 2, 1, inhale. Exhale. 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 Inhale. And exhale. Slowly rub your palms and place them on your eyes. Well done, everyone. That was the end of our workout for day 5 of this week. We always do an upper body workout with an arm pump finisher. So I hope you guys loved it. I definitely did. It was a while since I've done an arm pump session, and I could see how much of fatigue Simran was facing by the end of his last few hammer curls. So curls are something you will always take it up to your ego and try and get that done. So it's always good as long as your form is not going for a toss. Like Simran took a rest pause method, dropped the dumbbells down, didn't try and make it an ego clash. He couldn't lift more than 5-7 reps. Fine, drop it down. If needed, cut down the reps. Absolutely fine. But try and make sure your form is right every time you do any form of movement. Okay, on that note, let's quickly get started with the stretches. The first stretch is going to be what we call the Armless Prayer. Intermediates, we're going to do the Armless Prayer. Beginners, we are going to do the same thing but from the child's pose. So Armless Prayer is actually in the puppy dog pose where your hips are above your knees, elbows drop down on the floor, palms stretched forward, and then slowly get your palms onto your neck and hold this stretch for 60 seconds. Right? Look at Simran, all the beginners. Notice how his hips are down on his ankles as opposed to mine when the hips are above my knees. Intermediates can follow the stretch that I am doing. Beginners try and stick to whatever Simran is doing. With every exhale, try and get your armpits closer and closer towards the floor. And that is going to help you a lot, feeling a great stretch in your tricep as well as your lats. Almost there. 20 more seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, that was our first stretch. Now, for the second stretch, we're going to show you a variation. Like, for example, we basically are going to stretch our chest. Simran is going to show you a variation if you don't have enough space on the floor. He'll show you the wall pec stretch. Simran, can you stand up for me? And I'll be showing you the scorpion stretch. So, all those who don't have enough space on the floor, you can do something on the wall. Come closer to the wall. Place your palm on the wall. Can you turn this side? Because it will be more evident that way. So, place your palm on the wall like this, right? Fingers pointing backwards. From this position, all you have to do is turn towards your right. No, your shoulder should be in line with the palm. Move to your right, move to your right. Slightly more. And now try and push that shoulder backwards. And this is where you start feeling your pecs, right? Okay. Now, that is going to be your stretch, 30 seconds each side. All those who can lie down on the floor, Simran, you can relax for a while. All those who can lie down on the floor, you're going to be doing something called the scorpion stretch. For this, bend one elbow, raise the same leg up, twist your hip, drop the foot down on the floor, and try and lock this elbow to feel a great stretch in your chest. We'll hold this for 30 seconds. Intermediates follow my version. Beginners try and follow Simran. Shoulder in line with your palm, Simran. Excellent. And try and push the other shoulder backwards towards the wall. 10 more seconds. And 3, 2, 1, and switch sides. We are going to again switch to the opposite side. Bend the opposite elbow, raise the leg, switch your hip, and try and lock the elbow to feel a great stretch in your chest. Hold for 30 seconds. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, that was the second stretch that we were doing. Okay, the third stretch is going to be what we call the child's pose lat reach. Okay, so here Simran is going to be showing it to you from the front side so that you have a look at it. I'll be showing it from the side angle. So, hips down on your ankles, arms stretched forward. From there, all you have to do is try and get both your arms to one side and hold that position. If you want, you can grab the non-working arm. So, outer arm back on your lower back, because technically you are only going to feel the stretch in one arm. We'll hold this for 30 seconds each side. Hold it for 30 seconds. 10 seconds up. Last 10 seconds. And switch sides. Come back to the center. Switch your arms. And again get the opposite arm on your lower back. Let's hold for 30 seconds. Feel a great stretch in your lat while you're holding this. With every exhale, you can try and crawl with your palms further ahead to feel a better stretch in your lat again. Halfway there. In fact, just 10 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Alright. Next, the last stretch is going to be what we call the kneeling wrist stretch. So you stay on your knees, place your palms down on the floor such that the fingers are pointing towards your knees, and then slowly lean backwards. Let's hold this for 30 seconds. On that note, we also come to the end of one more week. All those who've completed this week, we would love to hear from you. What was that one thing that you loved during this week throughout all the 5 days of workouts? Feel free to go ahead. Share your feedback on any social media platform. Let us know, tag us, be it Instagram, be it Facebook, be it LinkedIn. Please do feel free to tag us. And on that note, we finished 30 seconds. The next one, I want you to place your palms such that the palms are facing up. Here, you don't want to lock your elbows out. You don't want to press the palms to the floor. You just want to lock your elbows out and hold that position, right? 30 seconds once again. Five, four, three, two, one, and relax. All right, that brings us to the end, finally, of today's workout as well as the week. I hope you guys loved this week. Like I said, stick to the basics as much as you can. Let us know how this week went, and if you like something very specific about this week, let us know in any of your posts or stories. Don't forget to tag us. That's it from our end, guys. We'll see you on the other side with another workout, which is going to be as simple and effective and sticking to the basics. Until then, stay fit, stay healthy, and always stick to the basics.